Let's make money from anywhere by creating and selling embroidery files. This girl is having a hard time learning how to digitize, so I had her send me her file and I'm going through it to find all of her mistakes and help her learn. And girl, just looking at this file, I know you are tired and this took you a long time. The first thing that I noticed is that you are using way too many nodes, and that's probably one of your biggest issues. Here's a design you sent me, and here's what it looks like after I went through and deleted all the nodes. You have to try and make your design with the least amount of nodes as possible. This is really important for it to stitch out good. The second thing that I noticed is your start and stop points. The green one is your entry point and the red one is your exit point. You have these all over the place. This tells your machine where to start the stitch and where to end the stitch. You want to put your end point as close as you can, if not on top of your next starting point. Here's an example of mine. It's going to start here and end here. Because my next object is the same color, I do not want my machine to stop. I just want it to continue to move on. So the way you do that is you put your next start point where your last shape ended. And you continue on. Where one shape ends, the next one begins. As long as the objects are the same color. Which brings me over to the next issue. You want to group all your colors together if you can. This is your design and you see it has 6 color changes. You want to minimize that. The way you do that is by sequencing. I'm just going through and selecting your white objects and moving them up to your other white objects. This is going to reduce your color changes and stops, so now you will only have 3. This will keep your machine moving in a logical path. On to the next thing that I noticed, and this is probably the one you're getting most frustrated with, which is your underlay. Underlay is not something that you create. What you have here is a blanket stitch. Underlay is a setting for a fill stitch. A blanket stitch is a different type of fill stitch, so I'm going to delete that. To find your underlay, you need to select your fill stitch. In this case, you're using a tatami fill stitch. Go over to settings and your object properties, select it, and now you can see if your underlay is turned on or off. All you had for underlay on this fill stitch was an edge run. For a fill stitch underlay, I typically use edge run and tatami. But there are many different combinations, and I also have a video explaining underlay. And the last thing in your design is that you had way too many trims and stops. This is because you didn't group your colors together, and also when you move your start and stop points, as I showed you how to, you need to turn off your trims. I was able to get your design down to 3 stops and 13 trims. And here's how I did it. Because I moved your start and stop points to where one ends, the other one begins, I can group these items together. A symbol will pop up showing that they're grouped together. Now you can go in the settings and turn the trims off for them. This is how I got your design down to 13 trims. I just went through your design and grouped objects that are close enough together where your machine can create a jump stitch instead of stopping and having to trim it. So that's what I'm doing here, is just going through, selecting everything, grouping it, and turning your trims off. I know I said that was the last thing, but I want to talk about your outline. The same thing that I said before, you want to make sure this is sequenced in a path where the machine can run without having to stop. We're going to talk about branching. I have a video on this as well. I mainly use this for outlines, but I want to explain to you how I did it. Because all the stitches are touching and they're all the same stitch type, I can branch this outline together, meaning it's going to combine all these stitches into one. You want to start by selecting all of your outline stitches. Go over to branching under editing objects and select it. Down at the bottom, it'll say enter entry point. I normally put this where the beginning of the outline starts, and now it'll say enter exit point. You want to put this where the outline ends. This is going to take all of the shapes of your outline and combine it into one. I'm going to create another video on pull composition and the stitch out so you can understand that as well. If you're just watching to learn and you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let's go make this money.